So tonight I wanted to share a few tips on presentation skills. I'm using notes because I've put this together very, very quickly and I didn't want to miss any valuable information. So, in reality, nobody really wants to listen to your presentation. Wow. We can go home then. They want to be informed, entertained and inspired. More importantly, they want to hear a story and they want to hear your story. It's important that you add yourself to every aspect of any presentation that you do, that you take your audience on a bit of a journey. So, how to tell your story. Tonight we're going to make sure that there's clarity in your presentation, that you find out what makes for an interesting message, and that you keep your audience interested and with you, you entertain them, and that you tell them your story. When you're planning your story, it's important that you start with the end in mind. So what is the nugget of information that you would like your audience to go away with? Tonight, I would like to think that you'll go away realising that your story is worth sharing with people. Structuring your story. Every presentation should have an opening, a body and a conclusion. So basically, the opening is you tell them what you're going to tell them. The body is tell them, and the conclusion, anybody like to guess? The end, yeah. Tell them what you've told them. We're going to look at the content, some vocal variety and body language. The content is where is about telling your story, and your audience will warm to you if you can share bits about yourself. In particular, if you add humour, emotion and creativity, then that will spice it up as well. Sometimes if we look at different resources to get ideas from, that it just gets the creative juices flowing. And sometimes when we're doing a presentation, we can actually, you know, be a little bit flexible with how we say things, as long as it makes it interesting and we get a message across. So, vocal variety. Do you put people to sleep, or do you get them buzzing with excitement? How we use our voice is important to our presentation, and an easy way to remember vocal variety is 4 P's: pace, pitch, power and pause. So pace, one of the easiest ways to incorporate pace is to slow right down through key statements. Pitch, play with emotional content. So if you think sad, you're going to be talking in a slightly different way to if you're excited and you're thinking differently then. power. That's about the volume. So using higher volume now and again, and then taking it right down to accentuate other bits. And pauses. It's good to pause at the end of sentences, and also if you've got a transition in your presentation to show when you're moving from one bit to another. The first minute that you stand in front of your audience, they are going to start to judge you. They will be judging whether you're friendly, whether you're confident, whether or not they decide that they're going to listen to you. But also remember that your audience want you to succeed. So it makes sense that if you relax and warm to your audience, then you're in with a good chance. So to achieve immediate connection, smile. It works. And also eye contact, that's really important. Props. Using props can enhance the presentation, but they have to be relevant. They actually have to add a bit of a zing to your presentation. Right, piece of rope. I don't know if anybody was wondering why that was there. This was a prop that I brought in. However, I didn't have time to bring in what I wanted to bring in to make it useful. So I thought I'd bring it along anyway and see if now that we're thinking a bit more creatively, being a bit more intuitive, whether anybody here could give me any suggestions how I might use this as a prop for my presentation tonight.
Maybe it's like a common thread going through the story.
Fantastic, I like that. Yeah, I mean, that's quite close to where I was going to go with it, because part of, as I say, my idea of the presentation is looking at it like a journey. And I was going to get, or the idea was if I had really large beads, I was going to thread them on as subject matter for the speech that would make up that journey. But as I couldn't find beads big enough in the time I had, it didn't happen. But yeah, that was partly my thinking behind that. PowerPoint. Quite a lot of people now use PowerPoint for presentations, and again, it can be good, but it has to be relevant and it has to work with the speech presentation. So, need to keep it simple. How many slides do you think is actually a good number of slides to have in a presentation?
Oh, 8?
About 8? Okay. 10? That's a good guess, and you know, it's probably a sort of a rule of thumb that, you know, about 10 is okay. The answer really though is, again, if they're relevant to the speech. So a good way of working that out is working out whether you really need that slide or not. And important not to just read what's on the slides, because obviously the audience can do that. It's about talking around it. So conclusion. It's about delivering your message with clarity. It's about making your story interesting and giving it emotion, vocal variety, and lots about you. Take your audience on a journey and they will be inspired. So, in reality, no one really wants to listen to just a presentation. They want to be taken on a journey to hear your story.